Folks, this is the first demonstration that we're having over the weekend. You'll be pleased to know this is my first and last. They actually can't afford me to do any more. We're going to be doing the designs this morning, and I think for the rest of the week with foam free. Everything's going to be foam free. I'm starting off actually with a piece of green oasis in this one because it was given to me by Ken Buff for nothing. So it's free, you know. Anyway, let's start. We're going to start off now with this design here. I'm going to struggle a little bit with this because I am going to give this stuff a go and what have you. And I'm going to start off just a few little tips as well, what some of the guys do on the showground using bracken. They actually use this now to do their designs without using foam. And basically what they do, they literally just get it and shove it in their containers in a real big way. So much so that when they do it, it knits all together, and each sort of like piece of the frond acts like an anchor point. If I was doing something bigger, I would have stuffed all this in, but this is what they use. It's another alternative. I might use some of this in the design a little bit later, but starting off now, I'm going to put a few little pieces of this in, and the whole world knows that this is called Fascia japonica. So here we go. Here we go, right away. This fabulous oasis, or rock wool, is all ready to prove a little bit of a pain in the butt. I'm quite a believer. I know the RHS have actually sort of banned the use of oasis now at some of the shows. I kind of figure if they're going to ban something, then they should come up with the alternative for people to use where it's so easy. I mean, there are different ones around on the market or different methods, but if you're going to do it, then give people the alternatives, something, you know, so. But this is not going to work well right away. But I'm going to start off anyway putting some of these in. And these are the helianthus. You know, unfortunately you will notice this morning I will be just using Latin names. I don't do common names. With me coming from Liverpool, obviously people wouldn't expect me to speak in these common names, because as you know, Latin is a second language in Liverpool. And here we go. Yeah, so all the results have now been announced there and what have you. The judges have judged and what have you. I don't know how the floral art's gone, but I know from around there, again, with the design that I've done, because as you know, I've got another design there. And we were lucky this time, but we got a gold medal for the change. You know, it's nice to get one now and again. I suppose when you do the exhibits and stuff like that, it's nice to be awarded a nice gold medal. Unfortunately, I'm not used to getting gold medals much, you know, so I think I've just done Chelsea this year. A bit different for me because this year I've done two designs at Chelsea. I've done what we call a single genus. That's one species, one genus and one species, all of a plant called Viricia. And I was asked to do it specially by the RHS because I have a really large collection of these plants. I've done it at Malvern last year, and we got a best in show last year, which was really good. Again, I'll just give you a quick look at this. And sadly, so I mean, you know, from next year, we're really going to sort of slow down on doing shows. So next year, I'm not going to be doing Chelsea. I won't be doing Hampton Court or Gardeners World Live. We just feel at the minute like, you know, we want a bit of a break from it. And that's what I intend to do. Consequently, the only shows I'm doing next year probably will be Malvern, RHS, you know, the early spring one. What I'm going to do, this is how we've done this so far, dead basic. I know certain demonstrators are going to come along and be putting like stems through loopholes and stuff like that and what have you. I've done quite traditional. With this I want to add a little bit more. And I'm going to put some of this in, which is Catinus cogrea, commonly called smoke bush. But I'm not going to call it smoke bush. The reason why it's called smoke bush, and I think the RHS have got this wrong, and I believe it's called smoke bush because in the morning, when there's a late dew or early dew on the plants, when it rests on it, it just rests gently over the plant, and it sort of like holds itself. And if you do see this first thing in the morning, it actually does look like a cloud of smoke. The RHS say that it's called a smoke bush because of the flowers that maybe swirl and what have you. But if you look at it very early in the morning, we don't really get many dews anymore, do we? You know, and what have you, it's the way the world's going. But it was then, I always thought then that's why it should have been called the smoke bush. Yeah, the smoke bush. But we put a little bit of this in anyway. I'm just going to slot this here. I was going to use a little bit more, but this foam is not great. Put you in. Down. And I just might try one of these in this. This is one of the roses. This is from Ecuador, this rose. A lot more coming in from Ecuador. I was actually in Ecuador a couple of years ago doing a study on the plants that I have, the bromeliads. And I was there for about 3 weeks, which was really, you know, it was just an interesting time. It's kind of what you do once you got involved with NAFAS. The world will open up to you. Say again. What's the rose? It's a red one. It's a big red one, yeah. It's called the Red Rose of Ecuador. Do you know what? The name will be on the package there. I've got a package there that says co-op, so I don't think it's called that. Right, a few more to go in. This might, I don't like this stuff. I really don't. But probably like no demonstrator likes them. Put you into there. And I might just put one more in. So as you can see, I don't think the conditions here are very good for people for motoring around the place and what have you. You should have been here on Wednesday. The tractor got used to pull all the vehicles out from the far field because everyone except me, because I was sensible enough to park on the road, but everyone's had a pretty bad time. I want that to be taller. But it's a bit big, so we'll try it. I don't think we're going to use that. I don't like it. There we go. I'm going to put some of these in because we've got them, and why not? Because you'll be pleased to know that a lot of these are going to get, well, all of them will be getting raffled off a little bit later on. And one of the ones I'm putting in the raffle, it'll be the last design I do this today, is going to be all Tillandsia, a straight air plant one. And now, I think so now because I am providing a lot of plants for demonstrators now or for show work. And this started off at Dublin when WAFA was in Dublin, where I supplied, I think, half of Pakistan and India with air plants, you know, so. Right, I'll tell you what, we might just put one little piece of this in the back and that'll do us. And I might put another bit in because I can. And then in a minute I'll probably tell you a little bit about some of the activities now that I'm doing with the RHS, because one's got really quite moving up quite well within the RHS now. I'm actually sort of chairing one of the plant committees doing trials. Yeah, for the RHS, yeah. So, you know, it's why that when I do resume demonstrating again, that fee will be £500, because, you know, how many other demonstrators are on an RHS plan committee, and how many are chairing the committee. So I think I should be paid for that. Last little piece going in. Little cut here. And we'll call that one the first one done. Here we go. I'll just swap some of these over. Rock wool in again. This is just an only little box. I've built it up a little bit, a bit of plastic in so the water's not leaking out everywhere. And we'll go ahead with this. Now, I think people may have seen some of the TV coverage that we've had for the new setup that we've got, which is in Warrington. And it's this is where we're doing the RHS trials, which is really, if I think about my earlier days with Liverpool City Council, you know, I left Liverpool City years, well, about 10, 12 years ago now, and I always remember, because like I was quite horticulturally quite high profile with Liverpool, when I decided that I'd had enough and I wanted to go, I was called into town to have a meeting with the bosses, and I just basically walked in and said, look, I said, I just think it's time for me to move on, and they agreed. You know, so I wonder right now if I can get away with telling you this. I am a bit notorious for coming out with things happening. People that know me, something will happen. But just before the lockdown, I was doing the, what's the name, Hampton Chorley Flower Show. And this person is now no longer employed by the RHS. And I hope it's got nothing to do with me in any way whatsoever. But I can't mention who it is because there's all legal things going on and things like that. But this particular day, this lady come round around Hampton Court Showground, and I watched her names, you know, I couldn't believe it. She was going to speak to all the exhibitors and what have you. And eventually, for some reason, she came and spoke to me. With the head of shows, the RHS, you know, the RHS head of shows. So we had this really big person in the RHS, and we also had this other person who was very big within the RHS, who I can't mention because I believe if I do mention a name, I'll get sued. So I can't say who it is because, you know, I can't. But anyway, this particular day, she comes around speaking to all the exhibitors, and generally speaking, these people avoid me. You know, the hierarchy of the RHS generally avoid me. But on this particular day, this lady didn't. And she comes up to me and says, how's the show going? Now this is a Thursday. And she said, how's the show going? And I said, well, to be honest with you, I said, it's not as good as last year. I said, the Monday we had last year was far better than the one that we've got this year. You might be better turning that off in a minute because it's going to be a bit... So, and she said, well, how was the next day? I said, well, the next day was good, I said, but not as good as, you know, the previous year. And she's standing by my stand. Now, if anyone's not seen me stand, it's where the other exhibitors are. So it's quite a big layout, all these tropical plants done in a natural setting. And there I am, and she says, well, how did you do yesterday? And I said, well, yesterday was better. I said, but not as good as the previous year. And she just stops and goes, I'm standing there by the stand. And she goes, absolutely beautiful, fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous, superb. And I said, I always look like this, and what have you. And then she goes, oh, she said, and I suppose like you think you're like the sex god of the marquee. And I went, well, look at me, obviously, yeah. And she leant over, you won't believe it, she leant over like that and grabbed my arm and said, yes, she said, but I'm blind. She said. And I said, that's not my arm. Now, for some reason, she's no longer employed by the RHS. And I only told that story because I was looking around at the audience. And I thought, if I'm going to get away with telling you that, now's the time. Again, we'll put a bit more, oh no, I think we'll put some of this in this. Some of the Acer. Actually got this from my front garden. Can you believe which is actually going to get done? I've got the worst garden on the road and whatever, can you believe? I sometimes think, I hope nobody knows my position within the RHS because you wouldn't believe it, looking at the garden and what have you. Although a funny thing happened was I was doing some judging for the council on all the groups all do things like flower baskets and containers and stuff like this. So I watched and they asked me to judge it, and I did. And they were judging these hanging baskets opposite my house and what have you. So all these fantastic hanging baskets are all there, and they're judging it. And right opposite where we were was my front garden, and I wouldn't turn round. I'll put a little bit of this in. A little bit more of the Cathinus in. And it's, I suppose now, like, I've gone ultra posh now, can you believe? And it's surprising how people change with you. But this year at Hampton Court, I've done my accreditation and passed to be an RHS judge at the flower shows. So hopefully with a bit of luck, I'll be down, even though I won't be doing the shows, I will be down to do some on the judging side of it. And it's quite good because I'm hoping to get at least a new house and a new car with all the bribes that I might be taking. Into this now. I'm going to start off by putting some of these in, some dianthus, and I want these quite low in. And with a bit of luck, these should really just slot in. So I'm going to put a line, or a big thick line of these here. I'll put a couple in and just whip it round so you can have a look. Even these with the strong stem is sticking a little bit. Let me put a row in. Like I said before, these are all going to be raffled off. The one or two next might be the prize one. We'll use a little stick to make the holes before we start, because it is that. Right, a couple more just to go in here. And we'll see if I can get one coming down. Couple more. I just hope whoever gets this one likes carnations. What I'm doing here now is I'm just going to start building this up now. So we'll lay it there and we'll put some more stuff in. And at the back, we'll put a little row of delphinium. Now this stem should be strong enough to fit right in. So a nice blue one going at the back. Again. As well now I find myself with doing this trials thing now for the RHS, I find myself now going to a few more places that they want you to. Surprisingly enough, and people might not believe this, but I do spend a bit of time now down at Kew, helping out with their plant collections there, certainly on the bromeliaceae side of it. A strange thing happened last year, it was, at Malvern. I was approached by somebody, one of the guys that was doing a design, at Kew Gardens, and they asked me if I would like to be part of the team to do this design. It was the big thing about Mexico in Kew last October, and they said to me, look, do you want to come and get involved in this? And I couldn't really, because I was committed to other stuff and that. But what they said to me was the surprising thing, which I thought, God, that's bizarre. Being in that now, I'm not 21 anymore. The guy turned around and said to me, he said, come and do this design with us at Kew, this big exhibit. He said, because it'll be very good for your career. You know, I'm thinking maybe 20 years ago I said, but certainly not now. Right, I'm going to block these all there. Right, so baby, I'm building that wall there. That wall of delves. Again, I'm going to put more of the carnations in. Don't want these to go in as far. Right, so. Right, so thicken that, what I call a little ball of pink. A few more going in. I know this is, you know, one thing with the Chorley Flower Show, one thing you, unfortunately, you can guarantee with it, for as much and as hard as they try, they always get battered by the weather, and it's just a real sad thing, because a few times now they've tried to do the shows, and we've been, you know, we've had to break down the show a lot earlier as well for it. It's just really sad. I'm putting some of these, don't use all these roses up. More to go in. Is it me moving with the mic, or is it, because I can keep hearing, does it go off? It is going off, yeah. How's that? Right. Okay, here we go with some of these roses. Again, some more of these. Little pinks to go in. And my little flower things fell off. A couple more. And I am put you in towards the back. Another little piece going in. And again, I might just slot some of this gentian in. A quick look at this, because I'm doing it from this side, you can't see, so that's what we're looking like now. I have to say, like, whoever does win this one in the raffle as well, you need a weightlifter with you, because it's really heavy. Slotting in towards the side. I mean, I never thought to ask before, do we get to keep the t-shirts? You know. Take it, that's no. Right. You thought it was safe. Just when you thought it was safe to go, we hit another hard pocket of that rock wall. I've heard that there's supposed to be something coming out next year. That's supposed to be good. I've been told it's supposed to be good, but it's not cheap. It's going to be quite expensive. what I'll do is I'll just slot some of these in, so whoever gets it will get the value for money. As I think it might have a loose wire. Right, the last couple going in with this one, and then we'll do something what I'm more familiar with of late. Right, swan. And that one is going to look like that. So that'll be that one. And now we're going to go to this one. So right now, again, Solansias now are a plant that can be used and is used quite a lot in some of the designs now. All I've got with this now is a glass vase. I have put a little bit of the Usanoides inside there, which is, you wouldn't normally do it, because it won't survive. These plants, what I'm going to use now, do need air movement and what have you. So all I'm going to do is by getting a little piece of this reindeer moss, and that literally is just to put in here. It's just for total decoration. Put that there, like so, and a little bit more there. And in that case now of just building this, we are going to use some of the a couple that's in flower. This one's called Tillandsia stricta, but this one is called sugar candy. Okay, and all this is I'll get a piece. I generally use aluminium wire. Say I'm putting this on here, I will really neatly and tightly put this on. And I start off maybe at the bottom, that's where we're going to put a big one, and then I wrap it round the wood a couple of times, and that really, keeps it sturdy. So we'll put you there like so. And then what I do with the plant, literally get the plant, and I don't squash this, by the way. Now all I'm going to do, I want it to hold it, so I might go through just some of them leaves like so, and then we'll twist it a couple of times like so, and then we'll get that to hold it there. The beauty of using the aluminium wire is it's very flexible, and you can twist it and turn it and do other things with it. So we put the first one there like so, and then this is going to be a tallish design, so we might put this one somewhere there. Again, this is how your aluminium comes. It's most shops do it. I want a longer piece, that's why we're going to use this. So the aluminium wire, like so, and we'll do the same thing again. So we'll just build this up now. I'm just looking at where this might look okay. And it could be there. And again, what I'll do with this is get this and wrap it really, really tightly around. Like so. So we've got you like that. And then I want to bring this up and just put it through there to make it just hold on as well, like so. Then we'll get this one. Again, you could use a shorter piece of wire, but I just thought, why not use this? It's easier, anyone doing this for the first time, the longer the wire, then the better it is for you. And I'm just going to twist this round like so, until it gets into a position where I want it to be, which would be there. So again, we put two little bits in, and we're just looking something like that. Again, we'll add a few more. I'm not going to probably go on too much about the names of these plants, because I kind of find that once I tell you, people forget right away and what have you. So we'll just call it Tillandsia. But if you want to know that this is called melon carter, I'll tell you later. Again, let's put this here. So I'm looking at this now, and we're looking where to put them. So again, same principle again. when I'm doing other stuff with this, I sometimes might use cable ties. If you leave them on the branch, as part of this, the end tip here will actually sort of form like a type of glue and stick itself on. They are sort of like quite good for doing that, but it does take a while to do. Again, just get this one wrapped up. You might think I'm being quite rough with these, but it's because I know the plants. I know which plants can take a bit of sort of rough and some that can't. This one is Cappy Tartar. Little one there, and again we'll put this one here, like so. Looking after this, by the way, is easy for somebody, because all you need to do with this is mist it maybe every 7 to 10 days, and it should be quite happy. They sometimes do like to be dipped or dunked, but because of the nature of this one in its stand, in its design, you would just look after it with a spray. And I'll just wrap this one again. When we're doing these trials that we're doing in Warrington, the way we're doing it, we have three types of each species or cultivars, and we're actually sort of, we've got them set up in 3 different ways. So what we have got is we've got like one that's on a wire that's coming out, so it's hanging loose. We've got one that's sort of like cable tied onto the piece of wood, very, very solid, to see if it'll sort of just like glue on. And then the other piece is just laid onto the wood, which is how sometimes people do it. You know, they either put them on a little piece of wood or what have you. So for the benefits of the trials, that's what we're doing. And we'll just get another one here. Oops, put it on the tree first. Like so. A couple more little twists. But if you do it a few times, it does hold really quite well. Now this is probably too much wax, this one, because I know we won't need to be as mad with it. So little twist, little turn, and away we go. And we may as well just put one more on, and then we'll finish it off with a bit of the tillandsia. So again, a little bit more of the wire. Flip it. This one we'll just put here. That's it. And there we go. So anyone doing floral art and you don't want to use any foam or anything whatsoever, this has got no foam in, no plastic test tubes, and we finish it off just by dangling down. To me this is the original air plants, because this one has no root system whatsoever. You basically just hang it and it will quite happily live away. I'm going to put that on there just to seal it, just to hold it on. And I'll reach up there and put another little piece on. Like so. And we may just put a little piece of this on. And we'll just put that last piece up there, just wrap it round. And there is very easy to look after tillandsia tree. Little bit of misting every 7 to 10 days. And there we go. And that's that. Thank you. And I'd like to, every time I do something, thank people for one thing and for one thing only. But as I demonstrated, it's important that we do this. So I just thank you for one thing and one thing only, staying. How's Raphael?